Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the new Kia EV9 GT-Line. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Signer Kia here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this EV9. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So this has a 99.8 kilowatt hour battery pack paired to a dual electric motor setup. This is able to get 270 miles of range on a charge, and then power outputs are 379 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. And Kia says this means that it can go from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. And you probably also noticed the frunk here, which is interesting. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, first off, this is finished in this really cool, like, satin blue. It looks absolutely fantastic. And you guys can see the Kia logo there. So you got this really cool headlight design here, and look at the daytime running light, how it kind of goes down. Parking sensors here. We also have grille shutters that'll open and close. And putting it all together with this satin paint, this thing looks like a spaceship. Now, around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 285, 45, 21 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see with the wheels mostly closed off for aerodynamic efficiency, but the design still looks really cool. And then you guys can see we've got this black painted fender flare, and then look how the body lines really pop with this paint. And then you can see with that trim here along the side, you got the pop-out door handles as well. And then here is your full side view with this EV9. Now take a look at the key fob. You got the Kia logo here, and then on the side we've got our lock and unlock function, the opening for the hatch as well, and remote start on the other side, and then you got the opening for the front. You got lots of controls in this key fob. Now take a look at the cargo area. You guys can see we have this big bag that it comes with. Got more storage underneath, and then this is to lower down the hatch, which is funny. Got a 12 volt right there, and you guys can see the rear passengers have cup holders. Got some USB port action, and we got some outlets here. And notice for the second row we can throw those down with the buttons right there. And then with these seats you got straps to pull them up. I'm not going to pop in the third row because I already did that in my last EV9 review. Basically all you need to know is space back there is pretty similar to most crossovers in this segment, where you can fit adults back there, but it's best fit for children. And then you've got nice little trim pieces here. When you're all done, just press that and that'll lower the hatch right back down. Look at the taillight design here with this. I think that looks pretty crazy. Again, with the Kia logo, you got EV9 and then your little GT-Line badge right there, and then parking sensors at the bottom. And wrapping things up, let me know what you guys think about the overall design on the GT-Line, but I think this looks great, again, especially with this paint color. Now taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see we've got sunshades here, and then look at the trim down below, and then you can see this trim that goes across. Heated and ventilated seat function, and then more soft touch right here, and then you can see the speaker for the sound system. That looks pretty fancy. And speaking of fancy, look at these seats, and I love this brown coloration. It actually looks really nice in contrast to the blue. Now, legroom here in the second row is really good. We also have a little storage pocket here, and then you can see you've got some cup holders, and then you got more storage with this little area, and we can actually pull this whole thing out. It's kind of interesting. And yeah, these seats, like I said, very comfortable. Captain chair design here in the center, and then we got our climate controls here for the rear up top. And then we do have a sunroof here for the back passengers as well. And the headliner in this is really soft. Like, look at that. And then look at the finish on those. It's pretty fancy. And then last but not least, headroom. It's good. Now, take a look at the front door panel. You guys can see, again, soft touch here. And look at the trim that goes across. And then we've got all of our controls here for the heated and cooled seats, your memory seat function, heated steering wheel, massage seat function as well. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And we've got all of our window controls here, mirror adjustment. The mirrors do power fold in, and then again, more soft touch. I'm actually interested to see how much this thing weighs. So 1,058 pounds of payload capacity, and then the gross vehicle weight rating is over 7,000 pounds. So for those of you that are business owners, sounds like a tax write-off to me. And then here's the front seat. You got the little mesh over the headrest. You guys can see it says GT-Line there, but perforated all down the center. And then you have this for your thighs. And then you've got all of the seat adjustments, including this to extend it out, which is cool. And then look at the pedals. Those are nice looking. And then we have this for the charging port, your hood release. You can see if the hatch to be able to control parking brake as well. And then the dash is soft touch here. Really tight fit and finish, by the way. And then we do have a power adjustable steering wheel. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see soft touch all around. It's got kind of more of a square design. Paddles on the back for the regen. We've got a bunch of practical controls in the front, like your volume, voice command controls, adaptive cruise control, steering assist, drive mode select, and your four-wheel drive lock. Stock's there on the back, and then you guys can see you got the column shifter that also has the stop-start button. Now in the center here, full digital gauge cluster. We can scroll through and see different bits of info and systems within the car. And then we have our drive mode. Select quite a few different drive modes that you can go through. I love how the range immediately changes when you put it in sport mode, because I mean, it's honest, right? If you're in sport mode, you're gonna be using up a few more electrons than eco mode, for example. So in reverse, we've got this 360 camera system, and you've got the cool exterior view. Ah, sad it doesn't have the satin paint, matte paint. It's okay though. Anyways, I'm being dramatic. Notice that the driver climate control system is always accessible there on the side. And then as for the main screen, I mean, it's pretty straightforward with the use. So you can see this to find like charging areas, for example. Response time's pretty good. It does take a second for some of the menus to load up, but overall I'd say it's an easy to use infotainment system. And then I do like the little buttons here. They do have haptic feedback, which is very interesting. And then your climate controls just down below with your volume control there in the center. And then some USBs. Open center console design, so tons of space. And this does have the over-engineered cup holders, is what I like to call them. So if I click that in, you can see how that kind of works. Auto hold here with your hill descent control for the camera system, parking sensors. And then got the wireless phone charging pad. And nice padding here on the top, also on the side as well. And then while we're on the topic of storage, here's the glove box. And I do like this cloth trim they have throughout. Really nice dash design too, by the way, how they've set that up. Looks like this has a camera, rear view mirror. And then we have a sunroof up top in the front. So here's our window sticker for this GT line. So this is a long range all-wheel drive with the GT line. Almost everything standard equipment, it looks like. We just have a few options. The paint job it's called Ocean Blue Matte, $9.95. And then the brown interior a little bit. Anyways, total MSRP, $77,110 after all options. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off in the Pagani of electric SUVs. Here's your visibility of the hood. I can now see the heads-up display. Both the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then through the rest of the rear, and wrong way. Let us set off here in the EV9 GT. Oh, not the way to go. GT line. I guess we'll have to reverse first. For some reason, I thought there was going to be space there, but yeah, definitely not. 360 camera system's really nice, actually. And you've got parking sensors as well. I think it's forward. Yeah. This trips me up because, like, I feel like Mercedes is the other one that has a column shifter that I'll review quite often. It's not a pickup truck, so it's like different actuation on the column shifter, if that makes sense. Not the same as this where you're twisting, but anyways, theirs drive is down and then reverse is up, I'm pretty sure. I feel like that's how most column shifters work. So having the drive twist forward, it's definitely a little bit of a learning curve. But so far, very smooth. It's like the first time I drove an EV9. Seats are very comfortable. Let's do the massage function. Let's get that going on. So cool you can get massaging seats. So this, okay, so that does more aggressive regen. If you do that with the paddle. It's got the camera, or the turn signal camera is what I call it. It's always a cool feature. Very smooth. And obviously being electric, right, you get all of the power right at 0 RPMs, as they say. So seamless acceleration, just depending on how far you go into the accelerator pedal, will kind of determine what happens there. Yeah, the one pedal drive system on this it's really good. It's a pretty seamless system, I would say. So that's a plus. Yeah, it's pretty quick. Again, it's not a full, we'll get a full-blown acceleration a little bit later. I'm trying to see if this drives any different than the first EV9 that I drove, and I'm not really noticing a difference. It seems pretty similar. to me, it's looking like the biggest difference is the exterior styling and then the extra power, but then you lose some range with the GT line compared to that regular long range that I reviewed. Yeah, it seems like it's so far it drives pretty much the same. I will say though, they did a really good job. So the thing that I like about this that kind of makes this feel more unique in the EV segment is just kind of how they've stylized everything. Like, it looks pretty crazy on the outside, but it's a good looking crazy. That's why I chose the title, by the way, because I feel like Pagani is the example of looks crazy, but it's a good looking crazy. And that's kind of what this car is on the outside, and you know, somewhat on the interior. Like, there's, you know, quite a bit happening, but it also flows together and it works really well. Now the screen does kind of have that plopped on look, but there's only so much you can do with screens, right? That's kind of a limiting factor for automakers. But yeah, I don't know, just the different material uses and everything, it's a lot, but then once you kind of take it all in, it's like, this is nice. This is nice. I love how there's a 4-wheel drive lock on this. Okay, so sport mode. And get acceleration. Wow. Yeah, it's quicker than the first long range that I reviewed. Definitely, you can feel it. You can feel the extra power. You can feel the extra power. I like how there's different levels to the regen, so that you can kind of fit the regen to your braking style, I suppose is a good way to put it. That's all the way. Wow, that is so aggressive. So aggressive. So to cap things off here with the EV9 GT-Line, I think this thing is really cool. Honestly, it drives really well, and you know, even though this is a Kia, this feels more like a luxury vehicle in terms of how it drives, and I think how it looks too. It does look more like a luxury vehicle. It seems like that's what Kia is going for, and it's also, you know, it's pretty quick. It's got quite a bit of power. Let me know what you guys think about the GT line, and let me know if you guys think if this is worth it in the EV world at this point. You know, the price point that this GT line is at.